weight in the heels of my feet. Whenever people generally will tell me that they're having issues with the squat and it's bothering their knees, it's usually because they're starting to put pressure on their toes as they go down, and that puts a ton of pressure in their knees. So instead, rock yourself backwards. Pressure should be in the heels of your feet, and what I'll often do is actually pull my toes up off the ground so that I can keep my weight backwards. Now, the other thing that a lot of people will mention is that squat, when they pull their weight backwards, is it makes them feel off balance as they go down and they feel like they're going to fall. If that does happen, what I'm going to get you to do is grab a bench or a chair or something like that. So now I have this behind me, so that as I go to squat down, I can have the bench there for A, safety, and B, it's also a really good cue as to how far down you want to go. When you're doing a squat, you want to go down till you're about 90 degrees. So I have about a 90-degree bend in my knees, or my thighs are parallel with the floor. Generally, a chair or a bench or something like that behind you is a good cue onto how far down you go, and then you go back up. Just going over the squat real quick again. Weight in the heels of my feet. I'm going to pull my toes up. I'm going to keep my chin looking neutral. My chest is going to stay up, and I'm going to engage my core to help support myself. I'm going to inhale as I go down. Exhale as I come back up. Adding weight with the goblet squat. You can use kettlebell, a dumbbell, or anything like that. Generally, if I'm using a dumbbell, a couple ways that I'll hold it is either holding on one end, such as this, or with weights like these, they're kind of long and bulky. I'll hold it on either side and kind of help rest it on my shoulders. I have a kettlebell. What I'll do with the kettlebell is I'll either hold it with the handles on each side, or another way that I like to do it is I'll turn the handle towards me and kind of support it on the butt end of it, if that makes sense. The most important thing is as I come down, I want to make sure I'm staying upright. I'm not letting the weight pull me down like this. Engaging my core, making sure that the weight stays in the heels of the feet, coming down, and then back up. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, be sure to ask.